A very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Sports Tonight. It's a beautiful Thursday night, and it's one of those nights that I'm sure you want to really catch up with all that is happening around you in the world of sports. That's why we're here. We're here to update you and serve you and give you the latest in the world of sports. Of course, our emphasis usually is on Nigeria and then Africa and then the world. It's not going to change tonight. We'll spend a lot of time to look at the state of Nigerian football, Nigerian sports, and then we'll go to Africa and then we'll touch the world. Thank you once again for joining us, giving us the privilege to walk into your homes this Thursday night on Sports Tonight. My name is Toyi Ibitoye. I'm not alone. I have Dumnodio Konta on the show with me, Tunde Koike as well on the show with me tonight, starting off Sports Tonight this beautiful Thursday. Guys, good to have you on Sports Tonight.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you very much.
All right, and then later on, don't forget it's the Thursday. Later on, Tunde Ogunshiku will be joining me, and Yemi Adebayo will also be coming in. We'll take a look at Australia Open. Yemi has got plenty of updates for us. One big upset at the Australian Open, the big Argentine, the Potro, crashing out. Yemi will give us a lowdown on all about the Australia Open. He's also going to talk to us about basketball. Miami Heat went visiting the president. We wanted to show you that yesterday. We couldn't show it to you. We'll try to do it today. They went visiting the president and got back down to earth. They lost their next game. Yemi will fill us in with that as well. And then Tunde Gunshiku has plenty around chess for us. The chess, how do they call it? He called it one special name, Friends of Chess. You know, he wants to make all of us friends of chess. So we're coming to talk about Friends of Chess today. And then there's a monthly tournament that takes place in Akure. We're filling us in on that. And there's a special one, Chess with your eyes closed. It's blindfold tourney. You're going to be playing with your eyes closed. All right, so it will give us all the lowdown on all of that. That's later on Sports Tonight. So there's plenty to talk about. We're also going to fill you in with the Chan. Games played today, games to be played tomorrow, what's happening in the camp of the Super Eagles, all of that is on Sports Tonight. And Dumnodi has been keeping track of how teams are getting ready for the new season. Yesterday we took you to Kaduna to bring you updates around the preseason going on in Kaduna. Today we are taking you to Ijebu-Ode. Teams are in Ijebu-Ode also getting ready for the new season. So we'll fill you in with that as well on the show. So it's fun to be with us tonight, and we will make sure that you really enjoy the next 50 minutes that we have with you on Sports Tonight. Without wasting any more time, this is Tunde Koike, not Yemi Adebayo. Let me start with that, because a lot of people on Twitter have been saying that Yemi Adebayo is the one that said that the Eagles were completely outclassed by Mozambique yesterday. No, mistaken identity. It's this man.
I said it.
Tunde Koike.
I said it.
Is the one. Not Yemi Adebayo. Yemi Adebayo is the gentleman. He's coming in later on the show. I will make sure I also point him out to you when it comes on set that this is Yemi Adebayo, the gentleman.
Not me.
No, this is Dumnodio Konta. Yemi Adebayo will come in later on. But this is the man that you people should be directing those tweets at.
Honestly, I don't understand how anyone would mistake me for Yemi Adebayo. I think I'm better looking.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Yemi Adebayo's wife will have something to say about that.
Yeah.
But this is Tunde Koike. He's the one that said we were completely outclassed. But I mean, on a more serious note, I saw the game again, and I've seen it several times after that. It's not as bad as this guy made it look. It's not as bad.
So you are pointing in this direction.
Look, let me say something. Where are you to?
I'm not finished.
Okay, go ahead.
So when you are directing your tweets, please direct it at him. Tweet at his handle at Red Carnivore.
Tunde's handle.
Yes.
Because you are pointing in this direction.
Just bend it backwards. At Red Carnivore. That's Tunde's handle. Please don't make that mistake. It's not Yemi Adebayo. It's Tunde Koike.
No, it's not Yemi Adebayo. It's me.
So 10 seconds.
The truth about it is, if you are used to quality, you would not accept anything that is substandard. And when you watch football, different people watch.
5 more seconds.
When people watch football, they have different things they are looking at. I know exactly what I'm looking at and looking for.
Time up.
If I don't find those things, then I'm not satisfied.
Time up. But let's start the show by once again asking that we want you to be a part of what we're doing on Sports Tonight. Please be a part. Let's make it as interactive as possible. You can see on your screen how you can be a part of what we're doing. let's make this as interactive as possible. Talk to us, give us your own opinion. Do you agree with Tunde? To be fair to Tunde, a couple of people on Twitter agreed with him absolutely. But for me, after seeing the game several times over, I don't want to agree with Tunde that we were completely outclassed. We had the better statistics, we had the better shots at goal, we had the better chances, and we played better in the second half. Anyway, I can go on and on and on. But tweet at us, at those handles that you saw, Micho Konta, that's Dumnodi's handle, at my handle, on Facebook, at channels_sports. Tell us what you think. And more importantly, how can we get the result that we need in the last game against South Africa on Sunday? There's still plenty of time between now and Sunday, gentlemen, to put things in order. We'll talk more about the Chan Eagles as we go on. All right, but let's start with this one. I don't know whether this is good news or not. Not good news anyway. Let's start with the FIFA rankings. People have said, forget about the rankings. They don't matter. But I don't want to agree absolutely with that, because FIFA knows there's a purpose for the rankings. And the rankings play crucial roles at crucial times. Like when there's a draw, maybe for the Nations Cup, which we will have later on this year. We will have draw later on this year for the Nations Cup. Although we are in pot 1 already. So, but the rankings play their role. The Super Eagles are dropping. They're dropping. We've dropped 4 places. We're now number 7 in Africa. It's not comforting at all. And we are now 41 in the world. This is what it looks like. Top 10 in Africa. Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Algeria, Egypt, Cape Verde, Mali, Nigeria. Look at those countries. Ahead of Nigeria. Nigeria number 7. Then Tunisia, Cameroon, and South Africa. That's the top 10 in Africa. Let's take a look at the top 10 in the world. Spain, Germany, Argentina, Colombia, Portugal, Uruguay, Italy, Switzerland, Netherlands, Brazil back in the top 10. And Belgium have slipped out, I think, of the top 10. So that's what it looks like, rankings released today. Gentlemen, I want you to comment on something very quickly. People don't understand why we're going down. They don't seem to understand. But I think I have a little reason. I'm going to allow Dumodi to explain to us. And I'm sure that you will see that in the next couple of seconds on your screen as well. What happened in the month under review? For us, there was one thing that happened. We lost to Mali at the Chan 2-1. And now Chan has become very crucial in the rankings. Chan henceforth taken into account in FIFA rankings. Dumnodi, I'm sure it's clear on the screen, but I want you to explain some more. Well, that affects the month under review, for the January rankings.
Because when CAF came up with this release, they tried to explain the FIFA upgrading the Chan into a ranking stage, an A tournament. So they mentioned from the second paragraph, they mentioned the fact that the next draw, the next FIFA ranking, which was unveiled today, every game, it takes into consideration every game that stops that stops on the 12th. And on the 12th, we have a game on the 11th against Mali. So it means that game was taken into consideration, and that would have had an impact on our ranking. We lost that game 2-1. South Africa won 3-1. Some other countries didn't play the Chan, but I don't know how that pans out at the end of the day. But then for February, the game after 12, that's from 13
like our 4-2 win yesterday will count.
The game against South Africa, if we probably progress.
So our performance in Chan today, will affect our rankings.
It might and it might not, because there is a coefficient system that.
No, the games that we play at the Chan will be used to calculate our points for February.
But what I'm saying is that there is a coefficient system that FIFA uses. If you play teams from CONMEBOL, if you play teams from Europe, those are teams that have a higher coefficient ranking. If you play those teams and you beat those teams,
you move up.
You move up because you gain a tremendous amount of points. But if you are playing the likes of beating the likes of Mozambique, Eritrea, it might not really count.
Countries lower than you,
or lower on the coefficient table.
The point I want to make, just to buttress up, but the point I want to make is a good Chan. If, for example, we are able to get a victory over South Africa and go on to win the Chan, along the way, maybe beating Ghana, countries who are ahead of us. I think it's only Ghana.
We won the Africa Cup of Nations. That didn't move us to number 1 in Africa.
It didn't.
We beat Cote d'Ivoire along the way.
Who are the number 1? And we're in the top 20 at some point.
It still didn't move us to number 1 in Africa. So I don't think the Chan
will do too much for us.
I think there's Zimbabwe, there's Uganda, there's
mostly
Mauritania,
countries below us in the rankings.
Mauritania in this competition. No, it won't do much.
I think it's not like we're not going to be Africa #1, but that would push.
But you keep us from going down.
Yeah, from going down, for slipping in the ranking. And
but how come just because of a loss we go down like this so quickly?
You look
at victories by Nigeria doesn't seem to move us up. Even when we are winning games.
I'm not
2-2 with Italy, for example. 2-2 with Italy in the top 10.
Well, because if you look at the ranking, because there are points, it means if you're able to gather a lot of points, because for what you just mentioned, we are not going to play any Commonwealth countries. The next friendly game is going to be match 5. So it means we don't have to play. We are not going to play any top flight country. We are going to be looking at Chan as the only opportunity to do whether we can move the ranking in February a bit from the ranking. So I think when we play Chan, because we don't know what will be used, because by the time you start saying if you win Chan, you have to play countries on the way. You have to play Ghana if Ghana eventually gets on your way. You have to play countries like maybe Burkina Faso if they get on your way, Morocco if they get on your way, and some other countries they get on your way, and win if eventually we win the African Nation Championship. But for so far so good, because if you look at that, how can Nigeria was 4th, so we dropped to 7th, 3 place down in Africa. Because I think it's just quite unfortunate that we didn't take the CHAN into cognizance. Maybe probably that plays a role, or that. But at the end of the day, the thing is that when we needed the rankings, we got what we wanted from the rankings in October last year. But so far, we don't need the ranking because the draws for the World Cup are made. The African Nations Cup 2015 will be seeded. We are in pot 1, so it won't affect our. It won't affect whether we are going to be playing any other country. We have seeded. So whenever we need, I think we have to take into consideration subsequent rankings, especially when we get to the crucial moment from qualifiers. Let's see what the qualifiers will look like. What are the criteria for joins, for seedings, for feeding opposition? We try to look at.
Our qualifier for CHAN 2015 has already been made. We know the teams. We displayed it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, AFCON 2015.
We know the teams in Port 1. We know the teams in Port 2, Port 3, Port 4. So the rankings will not play.
But I think when we need a ranking,
a good World Cup for us.
Yes,
could be very, very.
World Cup is very key.
Yeah, a lot of people on Twitter are saying discard the rankings, don't it doesn't count. No, but they play a role. Sometimes it also plays a role in players transfer.
Yeah.
Some leagues don't accept players who are outside the top 70.
Top 70.
All right, so it plays a role.
Of England, they don't play teams who are not in the top 50.
There are some countries they don't play. There are some countries
they don't play friends against them.
They are below 13 position.
For what the rankings are worth, we should pay those attention to them.
I think for the qualifier for the 2014 World Cup, we knew how important the rankings are. For once.
And that time it was favorable to us. So unfortunately now we are number 7 in Africa. If this had happened a few months ago, then we'll have had the possibility of maybe being drawn against the Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana. That would have been a difficult route to the World Cup for us. All right, but that's the ranking. Please keep your comments coming and tell us what you feel about it as well. What's the next thing on the show? Yeah, let's go on this break. It's a very important break. The Assistant Director Media of the Nigerian Football Federation, Demola Lajire, spoke to us and he talked to us about the plans of the Nigerian Football Federation for the 2014 World Cup and some other plans that they have for the women's team, the Falcons, the Flamingos, and the national teams. And he said a few things around some new partners that they are also bringing on board just to ensure that everything is in tip-top shape, to ensuring that 2014 is a better year for Nigerian football than 2013. So we'll sit back, listen to Demola Lajire for a few minutes. We'll come back for more on Sports Tonight.
The time between now and the World Cup, you realize that we're talking about 5 months, and we're playing our first match against Iran on the 16th of June. So we have to be very much conscious of time, and that's why we're looking at, okay, if you're going to at the end of the day have a final list of 23, so if by now you don't have a list of like 40, 45, then you have not started. So if we have a list of 40 by now, and then we're talking about the friendly match against Mexico on the 5th of March, and then after that maybe you come down to a list of 32 or maybe, and then you go ahead and then be able to manage, because it's not if somebody is not in that 40 you cannot try him by the time of the match against Mexico, and he has not been with